Standards identified in these activities have been adopted from the content standards of the national organization for each discipline. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students in this 8th grade science class are studying the human digestive system. They have worked in groups to design experiments that investigate the effects various foods and products have on digestion. They present their plans to their classmates for feedback. This learning activity integrates Science Standard A1 for grades 5 through 8, which requires that students develop the abilities necessary to do scientific inquiry.
Our materials are going to have 3 beakers so that we can boil off the pop so that we can see how much syrup's left for like the syrup. And then we're going to have 2 cans of cherry Coke, 2 cans of wild cherry Pepsi, 2 cans of cherry 7-Up, cups, hot plates, blindfolds, markers, and Benedicts. We're going to do the Benedict's test, and we're going to do a survey and we're going to ask people what they think is the healthiest and why, and which one people think tastes best.
Okay. First we're going to do the sugar test. We're just going to boil off the water. We're going to have the pop, and we're going to heat it, and we'll boil off the water so the syrup will stay left, and then we'll see which pop has the most syrup. And then we will just record our data and see which one has the most sugar.
So what do you think we might want to do instead?
You might want to use clearer pops, so then the caramel won't affect the Benedict's test at all. So the pop with no colors are
Okay. All right. Does that sound like a good idea? All right. So then we should be able to have a clearer sense of what the Benedict's test would be. Okay?
After they have received feedback from their peers, the students conduct their experiments. One group of students is investigating the effectiveness of 3 popular antacids. They calibrate their pH probes and use Apple eMates to collect their data. The students' use of technological tools to gather, analyze, and collect data illustrates Science Standard A1 for grades 5 through 8, which refers to the students' ability to do scientific inquiry. The students also illustrate Technology Performance Indicator number 4 for grades 6 through 8, which requires that students use content-specific tools to support learning and research.
Okay. Want to try that? That's a good job that you noticed that. So that they're all starting at pretty much the same way. So all these are, those are pretty much the same. Good. There's some error, but they're not quite. And here's another probe still.
Turn this off, the whole thing off?
No. You just have to recalibrate that one, right?
Right, and I have to switch to the probe.
Yeah, so if you give me the old probe. Put your glasses on, because you're going to be taking it out of the assay. Okay. Start yours off at this and then take the differences. Do you see what I mean? It's at 1.69.
So what's around both of these?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And these all started with, we can just say it's like testing from a different stomach. Each stomach has like its own pH.
Okay, go ahead.
That's fair.
All right, that's fair.
The groups that did not have time to finish their investigations present their preliminary findings. The groups that finished their investigations share their results and conclusions with the rest of the class. The students integrate Science Standard F1 for grades 5 through 8 by designing an experiment that deals with personal health. The students' ability to communicate scientific procedures and explanations illustrates Science Standard A1 for grades 5 through 8, which refers to students' abilities to do scientific inquiry.
We've done the boiling, and we've found that 7-Up has the most syrup, but Sierra Mist is really close, and Sprite has the least, which is good.
So far, and is it confirmed by this?
Yes, and right here, there's a lot of sodium for Sierra Mist, and Sprite has a lot too, but not as much as this one.
And then
This one doesn't have any, does it?
No, it has a lot.
Oh, it has a lot.
And it also has a lot, but you can tell that
This one's a lot more cloudy. Like this one's kind of clear, and this one's like cloudy.
Yeah, this one has a lot.
Okay, so as far as what we think of with the most sugar, it's going to be what? 7-Up and...
7-Up's going to be the most, then Sierra.
So this is 7-Up,
Yep.
and this is Sierra Mist. Okay,
You can. It's really. If you look closely, you
All
can
right.
tell it has more.
if you can take a look at the color so far, and they'll have to take a look at that, but also the salt that's on the bottom. Okay, so the ones that have the most sugar seem to have the most salt. And then this is, which one?
That's the Sprite.
Sprite. And it has the least amount of sugar and the least amount of syrup so far. Okay, so you'll have to calculate those percentages then, so that you could see if that's what you've gotten. All right?
We did which kind of French fries had the most fat, and we did it just because like a lot of people eat fast food and like a lot of people like French fries, so we just did which one would be the most healthiest for people.
Yeah. And like our materials, we decided to test McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's fries, and we just put them in water and put them in the same size beakers, and just like heated them so that the fat would all come to the top. And before we did that, we had to take the mass of the beakers alone, and then we had to take the mass of the beakers with the fries.
The teacher also addresses Technology Performance Indicator number 10 for grades 9 through 12. She has the students collaborate on their projects using technology to compile, synthesize, and present their results.
It's actually probably easier when we were looking at the raw data. It's not quite as easy to see in the graph. But what happened was Alka-Seltzer jumped in the first minute, the highest, and the others didn't go. The others didn't go up to quite as far. But they all started out pretty high in the first for the first minute. And then eventually, what happened was Rolaids jumped the least in the first minute, but eventually it climbed, and it wound up getting the highest, just a little bit above the other two.
One group of students had to account for anomalous data in their results. Their ability to think critically to determine the relationships between evidence and explanations illustrates Science Standard A1 for grades 5 through 8, which refers to students' abilities to do scientific inquiry.
Meat. What did you find out with the meat so far? And do you have something for us to look at? Adam?
Well, what we found out so far is actually what we expected not to happen, because sirloin we found had the most fat, but Chuck we found had the least fat, but we believe that's because not all the water has been extracted from the patties yet, so that could throw off the weight measurements or the mass measurements before and after. So we're going to try to draw in some more, and then hopefully have some more accurate results.
Yeah, also, like, looks like the round lost a lot of meat and bound.
Okay.
But we might want to, like, strain that out, maybe.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to continue on with this.